Hey everybody, Matt Rosenthal, CEO of Mindcore. What I want to talk with you about this week is something extremely important. Doesn't matter what point in your life you're at, your past does not define your future. I got an 800 on my SATs. And as you know, an 800 doesn't really do a lot for you when you want to get into college. And I wanted to go to college because that's what you're supposed to do. So I ended up going to a school that didn't focus so much on grades, but if you were able to pay the bills, you were able to attend the school. And even though I grew up rather poor, in fact, my mother, my brother, and I lived off of Social Security. My father had passed away several years before when I was about 12, so I did not come from middle class or upper middle class family. Thankfully, a great uncle of mine left me enough money to get me through back then. This is in the early 90s, enough money to go to college. Back in high school, rather than study, I went home every single day, and I never brought a book home. I don't think I studied for anything during high school. In fact, I have a bit of a photographic memory. I would cram for a little while and pass tests and kind of got through high school that way. I was focused on work. I was focused on working as much as I possibly could, doing whatever work I could get, landscaping, working for friends' parents who could give me some work, doing whatever it was. It didn't matter. I did whatever I could to make money. Maybe it's because of my life circumstance and because that was what seemed important to me, but that's what I did. So that's where my focus was. And where you focus your attention is where you're going to focus your energy. And the outcomes are going to be directly related to that. Well, my outcomes were, and I ended up going to a college that was certainly not something wasn't my first choice, but I went. And an interesting thing happened. I focused. I didn't focus on work. I focused on doing really good in school. My grades were A's and B's. I did really good, and the outcome was fantastic. Ended up making some other choices, ended up leaving that school probably a year before I should have transferred out to another school because I wanted to save money, trying to make it work with that money that was left for me. And went on to make a series of bad choices over the next 5 to 6 years. It ended up taking me 10 years to graduate college. Ultimately, I graduated. It was a mission I was on. It was something I wasn't going to quit, but I did it. And I went from there to many jobs. I did one job after the other, really trying to find my way. Ultimately, settled in, and in my early 30s, was doing really well in working in the private sector. Ended up going back to school, getting my MBA, and created a new path for myself. Which was because I made decisions to refocus, to want to control and change my future and not have my past define future outcomes. I ended up going on to work for and run several successful businesses. I ended up actually built several successful businesses, and today continue to run the one that you all know me as the CEO of, which is Mindcore. The point is, I did not let my past define my future. So wherever you are today in your life, doesn't matter what age you're at, doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are in life, if you decide that you want your future to be something that you can visualize and that you know that you want, all you have to do is put your focus on it, put your attention on it, and you will get exactly what you want. If you focus on things that are negative, if you focus on things that are not leading you towards your goals, your outcomes will be exactly what they should be because your focus is taking you down maybe the wrong path. But for anybody out there who has been down a similar path to me, who has had to find their own way, who has made a tremendous amount of mistakes, learned from those mistakes, and taken those mistakes and turned them into to massive triumphs and wins, you'll understand what I'm saying. If you haven't, now's the time. Now's the time to sit back and decide that your past will not define your future. Take control, do what you need to do. If you have a story similar to mine, or if you can share a story that would benefit others, please do me a favor, take it, type it up, leave a comment. If you like this, if you can relate to this, please let me know that as well. And if there's anything that you think I can be of help with, if you'd like to hear more of my story, if you'd like to hear more about the mistakes and lessons I've learned, by all means, please send me a message. I've learned a lot, and I think if you don't share and pass on and teach what you've learned, then you're kind of missing out on half of this huge opportunity when it comes to the things that you've learned, what you can really, really do with them. It's one thing to have things benefit you as an individual. It's another thing for you to share what you've learned and help other people. Have a great week. Hope this helps you.